Just a quick thank you for coming along to our broadcast media training in support of Ukraine. I hope you enjoyed the session insofar as that's possible. I certainly hope that you learned something from the session. Just a quick reminder of the 3 Ps. The first P that stands for the planning that you really must do carefully in advance of a media interview. Remember, distilling your key messages from the subject matter, 1, 2 or 3 or perhaps 4 at the very most, evidencing those key messages with carefully chosen facts and figures, putting those on column 2 of the planning matrix that I hope you remember, but also remembering that the best interviews don't just engage people at a head level in an intellectual sense, in a rational way, but because we're emotional beings, particularly when it comes to things like war and threats to our family and our friends, for example, that we are, tapping my heart instead of my head, emotional creatures. So it's best to engage an audience at that emotional level, and column 3 of the planning matrix is reserved for the stories, the narrative that is ideally relatable to the audience and, as I say, emotionally engaging. So in the planning phase, 1 or 2 or 3 key messages, clarity and brevity, 1 or 2 or 3 facts and figures, intellectual rigor, integrity, and column 3, some carefully chosen stories that give your interview some emotional components as well. The second of the 3 Ps stands for the interview process, and you should manage that interview process determinedly, as it says there, remembering of course that it's not a question and answer session, not a Q&A, but a Q&R, where R stands for response. You're only going to respond to questions by actually answering them if they're helpful to you. All other questions you're going to deal with and move on to one of those key messages, to one of those carefully selected facts or figures, or to a part of your story. Deal with and moving on. Question and response, much better way than Q&A. And then the third P stands for the promotional techniques, and you should be unashamedly promoting your key messages using techniques such as tagging. So a tag would be, this is the really important point, folks, ... and then you'd follow it with the really important point. It could be a preface to, but also a postscript to the really important point. Tagging is really important. That's an important point. Techniques like repetition. Say something once, it goes past people's ears and eyes. Say something twice, and it's like a knock at the door, but we still don't let it into our minds. But say something as a bare minimum 3 times, and it gets up through the neural pathways and into the brain, and the more often you repeat a point, the longer it will stay up there. So remember the 3 Ps. Enjoy watching your online practice videos. Be reflective adult learners, and remember that if there's absolutely anything we can help you with in relation to the relief effort for Ukraine, we are more than happy to help you absolutely free of charge here at ACM Training. In the meantime, we'd love you to have a little look at the training, the how-to videos that we post to our YouTube channel. There's the address on the screen now, youtube.com/ACM Training. And if you haven't already connected, I'd love to connect with you, or at the very least to follow you, or for you to follow me over on LinkedIn. There's my profile, and to make things easy, all you really need to do is to point your smartphone at that QR code, and it will take you straight away to my profile, where you can choose to connect, where you can choose to follow. So thank you so much, and spread the word. Remember, Thursdays, or more normally Fridays, afternoons 1 till 4, 2 till 5. We'd love to see your friends, your colleagues and your family for the duration of the war in Ukraine. Let's hope it doesn't last very much longer, but if sadly in 6 months' time or even a year's time it's still going on, we'll still be here offering our free media training for Ukraine.